going to be talking about big business, particularly John D. Rockefeller.
But before that, we had to give a background of the Gilded Age. During this time, big businesses were forming and making corporations and using horizontal and vertical integration to make more profits, but this also killed smaller companies.
In 1780, John D. Rockefeller started the Standard Oil Company, which served most of the country. By using techniques like horizontal integration or the buying out of other companies performing the same task, he was able to expand his business and get the upper hand over businesses performing the same things. This repeated buying out of other companies made a lot of people not like Rockefeller because he created a monopoly for himself in the oil industry. Although Rockefeller created many enemies through his harsh business tactics and the fact that he made a monopoly, most people still liked him because he was a great philanthropist, and over the course of his career, the price of kerosene in the United States fell by over 80%.
For our next segment, we have none other than the man himself, John D. Rockefeller.
And the man himself, John D. Rockefeller. So, Mr. Rockefeller, how did you get started in the oil business?
Well, back in 1859, I partnered up with a good friend of mine, Maurice Clark. After a couple of years of success, we moved on and started expanding, and eventually 4 years later, we built an oil refinery in Cleveland, Ohio.
But it wasn't Standard Oil to begin with. How did it change to become what it is today?
Yes, it's true, Ian. I was a part of Andrews and Clark and Company at first, but then I decided to buy out other investors in our stocks, and one thing led to another, and then in 1870 I decided to start my own refinery, Standard Oil.
What a wonderful story. Thank you for being with us today, Mr. Rockefeller. It's been a pleasure having you on The View, and we hope to see you again.
For our next guest, we're having a man whose oil company was bought out by Rockefeller and Standard Oil. I'm here with James Tucker, former owner of Tucker Oil, which was recently bought out by Standard Oil. James, pleasure to meet you.
You too, Judd.
James, describe to me what happened.
Well, Judd, as you know, Rockefeller's getting quite the company behind him. He's buying out not only other oil companies, but other transportation, other suppliers. He's making it so he doesn't have to rely on anyone else to conduct his business. And when he's doing this, he's taking his production costs and he's dropping them rapidly.
Why does it matter to you if he has to pay less to make oil?
Well, I would be happy that he's being a successful businessman, Judd, except for the fact that with that new capital that he's raised, not having to pay for other costs, he can use that to undersell me, meaning he can sell his goods for a lower price than mine. And when he can sell his goods for a lower price, all the customers are going to go to his company. And when everybody goes to his company for their goods, I don't have any customers. And when I don't have any customers, I'm not making money.
So you're saying Rockefeller has left you in a position where you have to sell your company?
That's exactly what I'm saying, Jordan. And this whole monopolizing movement is just bad news altogether. And that a lot of people are recognizing this. You're seeing a lot more attention given to this problem from politicians, from journalists.
Rockefeller is based in Ohio, but his company reaches across the nation. There are many laws that make it difficult for business to be incorporated in one state and operate in another. How does Rockefeller get around this?
Well, Jordan, Rockefeller actually headed a trust, which is a group of incorporations, or basically just different companies that he had based in different states so that they could have them operate more smoothly. And so basically he ran one trust that really controlled all these different companies.
He sounds like a pretty slippery fellow. I'm sorry this had to happen to you.
He's a rascal.
Thanks for coming out here.
Thanks for having me.
That concludes this interview and today's edition of The View. Thanks for tuning in.